From the sidelines to your ears, it's the BenchWarmers Podcast, where sports meets humor. I'm your host, Zach, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jordan. Jordan, how's your night going?
It's going really well, man. Sun's shining. Things are going smooth, man. How about you?
Yeah,
Good?
we had quite the storm this morning. I don't know if you guys got that up in New York,
Yeah,
but
we got
it
a
was
little bit of rain.
oh no, we got fucking hammered.
Did you really? Like trees
Oh yeah,
falling?
I don't know about trees falling, but you couldn't see out your car window. It was
Jeez.
the rain was just coming down that hard. We were getting a lot of thunder and lightning.
Yikes. Yeah, that shit sucks. I bet you the dogs didn't like it.
Oh, our dog don't give a shit.
Your dog doesn't? You're one of them.
No,
You're lucky. You're lucky. Luna hates it. That and fireworks, too.
no, Alika don't care about fireworks.
Hell
All she
yeah.
cares about is taking naps and food.
Hell yeah, man. So what we got on the agenda today, brother?
The agenda is the NBA playoffs because there's some things that kind of surprised us in that. We'll get into that, and then we're going to talk about WWE Backlash and the latest episode of Raw. And if we have time, maybe talk about the episode of SmackDown that comes out tonight and anything else we could think of if time allows it. How's that sound?
Great. It sounds really great.
Alrighty. So let's get into the NBA playoffs.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me. Um, so Timberwolves move on. They beat the Warriors. They went 4-1 in the series, which I don't know if a lot of people seen that coming, but I've definitely seen that coming. Just the way the Timberwolves played against the Lakers, um, I had no doubt that they weren't going to beat the Warriors. But their next opponent is to be determined yet, which is the Thunder and the Nuggets, which that series is tied right now, 3-3. So here's my question. Do the Timberwolves have a shot at moving into the finals against either the Nuggets or the Thunder?
Well, I mean, no. So they're in the Western Conference Finals right now.
Or
Um,
yeah, sorry. Do
uh,
they have a shot of making it to the big show?
oh, I don't think so. I think that the Denver is going to come through, and well, they're going to beat OKC. But I think that we had that discussion the last time as well as the experience that Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and all those guys have down there, regardless of the coaching situation. I think that they are going to go back, not only to the Western Conference Finals but to the finals themselves, and face whoever, whether it be Indianapolis, Boston, or New York, one of those three teams. Um, yeah, I really think that the Nuggets topple the Timberwolves. It's going to be a good series. It's not going to be what you're looking at for the OKC and Denver game here should be what it looks like for the Denver versus Minnesota.
Yeah, I think so too. I I would think that even if the Thunder move on, it would still be a good series.
Oh yeah,
Um, Either way, I think it's going to be a really good matchup between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets or the Thunder. And I agree with you. I think the Nuggets should be able to close this series out. When is that last game? Is that tonight or tomorrow?
that's Sunday at 3:30 on ABC.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sunday we will have our answer on who goes up against the Timberwolves in the West. Now in the East, kind of a shocker. Pacers pretty convincingly beat the Cavaliers to move on. What do you think of that?
Um, Tyrese Halliburton is just a fucking show stealer. That's all it is. Those guys are on a whole different level. Kind of like what we've seen with the Minnesota Timberwolves back with the LA Lakers thing. Um, with the Lakers being the number 3 seed, the Timberwolves number 6. No one really expected them to topple Los Angeles the way they did. But as you could see, they did 4-1, and so did the Pacers. I think that Indianapolis is making a very, very hard case at why they deserve the finals. And honestly, if they make it, dude, I would love to see it. I mean, Indianapolis versus OKC, Indianapolis versus Denver, or Indy versus Minnesota would be great. As far as the other side goes, that really is a toss-up. JT is out. Jason Tatum is done for. I mean, we still have 2 other stars. That's
a big hit, though.
Oh, nonetheless, yeah.
They are down in the series 3-2.
But it's not like it was for Golden State. Golden State loses Steph Curry, and they're automatically written off. Boston loses Jason Tatum, and they're still into the hunt. That's the big difference here. Will they come back and win? I really hope so. As a fan of the team, I really want them to come through. New York is a tough team. They are our match. If it was up to me, it would be Boston and Indy, a rematch of last year's NBA Eastern Conference Finals, with Boston going through, obviously. I think that would be a really good match to see Boston and Indy take on the rematch, but I also wouldn't mind seeing Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton not only take things in the ring like they planned on doing, but on the court as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the Celtics are going to have a kind of uphill battle. The game is tonight at 8 o'clock. Knicks win it. They take the series. And Boston's traveling to New York. So the Knicks have home court advantage tonight. Do you think that makes a difference?
No. We beat them in the Garden before.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would be a big role. Obviously, in any home court advantage, you obviously got to prepare for that, and I think that's what they're doing. But no, I don't think it'll be that much of a factor as far as getting into the head of the Celtics. I just don't. I don't see that being. I mean, the Garden is the world's most famous arena. It's got the lights, the cameras, everything about that place. Screams like it should be like a deciding factor for the Celtics, but I just don't think that it will.
I bet you it'll be a packed house tonight.
Oh, most definitely. Because if they win, they go.
Oh yeah, if they win, they go to the Eastern Finals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd like to say that Boston moves on, but I think this injury to Jason Tatum, I think, is gonna kind of overwhelm them a little bit.
I think
they're
might
gonna have a hard time tonight, and I see the Knicks moving on.
Yeah.
So you had Celtics going all the way.
Yeah, I had. What do you mean the last time? I had from the jump.
Last time we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had them from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, depending on what happens tonight, Knicks move on. Possibly. You got the Pacers, the Knicks, and then we either got Thunder and the Nuggets either going up against the Timberwolves. Who's your finals in that scenario?
I'm gonna go with Boston and Denver. That's Eastern Conference. I'll always go with Boston, even if they were down 3-0. For the Western, I really think that the Joker's gonna pull this one out. This guy, I mean, I don't know. I don't care how many times I said it. This Nikola Jokic is playing a different type of basketball this close to the finals. And when you're playing that aggressive, there's only one thing that's on that guy's mind, is that's his second championship and possibly his second finals MVP, in which this guy deserves it. So I'd be happy with that.
I kind of agree with you, but I'm going to go the underdog route. I think the Timberwolves topple the Nuggets or the Thunder, whoever they go up against, and they make it into the finals up against the Pacers. that's going to be my final pick for right now. I mean, obviously we'll see how things unfold, but I would really like to see the Timberwolves and the Pacers in the finals.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad pick.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if the Timberwolves can. I mean, the Thunder and the Nuggets obviously are a hard team, are both hard teams to get past. As you can see with this series that's going on, they're tied 3-3. They're neck and neck. Um, so it can go either way.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Timberwolves definitely have an uphill battle, but I think they're young enough, they're hungry enough, they can get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Anything else you want to add with the finals or with the playoffs? I know things are winding down, and we're not getting into much more of the NBA.
Um, no, not really. I think we really hit this NBA playoffs series pretty hard. We've been a part of it from the beginning. We've made our claims through the beginning. Who was your original one? I can't remember.
I think my original was the Timberwolves.
Mine was Boston and L.A.
I
Yup.
think mine was the Timberwolves and the Bucks was my original.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
I could be wrong. I mean, people in the comments, you can roast us. I mean,
Yeah.
my memory's not that good. You know, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So
Hell yeah, man. So why don't we get into a backlash, dude? Because there's a lot to break down there.
definitely is.
There
There
is.
definitely is.
So one
Um,
one thing that I have here that I wanted to talk about was, as I stated before the show, um, well, LA Knight loses at Backlash to Jacob Fatu. It was a pin via pin, but there was some help. Solo came in with Jeff Cobb, and to me, it looks like I seen a familiar face because that looks like Rosie from Rosie and Jamal. Did you get a chance to look that up, Zach?
oh no, I didn't.
From 3 Minute Warning. Um, that I'm trying to get a picture up for you guys so you guys can see. Um, that to me was really exciting to see it because if that is the case,
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. That was Rosie, Jamal, and Rico.
yeah, yep.
Okay, I always forget about Rico sometimes. Although I always see that clip with the match with Too Cool and who was Rico with partnering with at that time, and he's going after Rikishi.
Oh, I can't remember. Ah,
I
man, I
don't
can't
remember,
remember.
but he wanted that stink face.
He did. So I'm looking it up right now, and his name is actually Jeff Cobb. It's not. It isn't Rosie. He looks so similar, um, to Rosie in many ways, and different angles here. Like I'm getting a picture for you guys so you guys can see it. Um, but he has made his debut here in the WWE alongside Solo Sikoa, and honestly, like Zach had mentioned something a few episodes back about being sick of this whole bloodline esque um, storyline that's going on, and we'll get into the Seth Rollins thing later, but it seems like we're still dragging this thing on, and the Tongans are nowhere to be found. There's only one of them roaming around somewhere, and now that it seems like they're kicking Jacob Fatu out of the Bloodline 2.0 or whatever they're calling it. Uh, what did you think when you seen this?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're doing. It does almost seem like that they're trying to kick Fatu out. Um, I just don't understand why. I mean, maybe they're gonna try to progress the story more, um, or they're just bringing in all these, you know, all these relatives of the bloodline because of WWE 2K25. That was the whole stick between it.
Mm.
The bloodline story. Maybe they're just trying to do that to hype up the game. So I don't know. I mean, not that the game's ever been mentioned on live TV, but it almost seems that way. Um, but I don't know what their plan is. I am curious to see it, but like we've talked before, I am over this bloodline, this this whole thing. To be honest, the wrestlers are fine. You know, the Fatu family, it, they can come and go as they please. I don't care, but do something different. You know,
Yeah,
put them with different wrestlers because they're with their family all the time, and that's the whole spiel. You know, they're like Vin Diesel, family
yeah, yeah. Do it for the family.
for the family.
Yeah, always for the fucking family. It don't matter if 7 out of fucking 10 matches are fought twos or on a wise. They're gonna be there because it's family.
Yep, family.
Oh jeez, man, dude. So
uh,
yeah, dude. I feel like this is one of those because dude, we've seen it was really exciting when we got the Civil War of the Bloodline. I loved it, but I don't need to see it again. I don't.
no,
I just don't need to see. There's no reason to see this kind of stuff again, at all. You know, like you
no,
said,
there definitely isn't. I mean, it's like they're. I wonder if they're just stuck. They don't know what they're doing
that's
with
what I'm
it.
thinking of because they got they hit they hit their peak with the bloodline thing, so they're trying to like vamp it up a little bit and I don't know, man. It's confusing because usually with these things, and I want to say like it's going to be some big swerve. And I know I've been talking about Zilla Fatu for a while, but this guy, judging by his Instagram, he's in GCW, MLW, he's with Booker T down in Reality of Wrestling, and all over the place, every place but the WWE. And it's the same thing with the Wyatt Six. If you're not going to put
Yep,
them out there, okay, well then stop fucking advertising these guys. Stop dropping these Easter eggs and leave it alone.
right.
The same thing with that bloodline thing is like, okay, we get it. They have a lot of fucking family members. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Editor, put up a picture of Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Vin Diesel. They'll put in a clip, edit for the family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking guys. I
them
just, I don't
posing in
know.
front of the car.
Yeah. Dude, this shit is just so ridiculous now. I mean, how much longer are we gonna have to deal with this stuff? And by the way, like Jacob Fatu doesn't need this. The crowd's already behind him.
Hmm.
This is clearly just for Solo Sikoa.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh,
Jeff Cobb could
definitely.
have came in with Jacob Fatu, had nothing to do with Solo, and the crowd still would have bought it. They're
Yeah,
doing this
Jeff
for him.
Cobb could have came in on his own
That's what I mean.
and
Like
fine.
he could have came on his own and going one on one with Solo in that same
Yep.
spot, and everything would have still been the same. This shows
Hmm.
that they're doing it to push Solo or do something with Solo. We don't need this. They already fucked him over when they stripped him of that North American title when he first came up from NXT to SmackDown to join the Bloodline because he had that belt with him.
Yep.
Roman Reigns was going on to be the belt collector 2.0, and like Thanos, the entire goal was in the Bloodline for the second, and then they stripped Solo of that belt, and we seen him in one WWE Championship match. He lost that to bring Reigns back, so they wasted that opportunity. And now here we are again for his third or fourth or fifth fucking try at this thing. If he
Yep.
can't get over on his own, then what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Solo, he hasn't had a match in a while, has he?
No, no, no. He's been
Well,
out there in them loafers, bro.
yeah, it almost seems like he's taking a manager's role.
Yeah, almost.
Like,
It does really seem like that.
what, are we going to have Paul Heyman 2.0 now, or what?
Yeah. Oh man, dude, that would be something.
Solo Heyman?
Solo
Solo Heyman?
Heyman. He's a lost, forgotten son of, kind of like what they did with Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan. That would be. I mean, hey, Vince isn't here no more, but his spirit still lingers on in the halls of Stamford,
Yeah.
Connecticut. But for
Triple
real,
H got to look over his shoulder every now and again.
just to make sure he's not there. He's like a fucking vampire, dude. You never know when he's going to show up. But so that's my thing on that. You know, I have no problem with Jacob Fatu holding that belt, other than the fact of like if he would have took that belt off of anybody but LA Knight, if he would have took that off of Shinsuke, I would have had a different opinion. I love Jacob Fatu. I think that his character is fantastic. I just don't the setup to this United States title run makes no sense. They took the belt off of LA Knight so many fucking times in a short period of time to put the belt on Shinsuke. When Shinsuke didn't need the belt, they take it off Shinsuke, put it back on Knight just for him to drop it to Jacob Fatu. Well, for what? I mean, LA Knight just goes back to Backlash, try to get that belt back, doesn't work for him. So where are we going to push him as the next contender to the WWE Championship? Because John Cena ain't got an opponent unless he's going to drag fucking Goldberg or somebody, the Undertaker, out of the fucking.
Oh, I thought I just seen like it was confirmed that R-Truth and him are going at it.
Oh yeah,
Saturday night main event.
Yeah, but that's Cena's last appearance.
What do you mean?
That Saturday night main event is John Cena's last appearance on TV.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought that was the next PLE.
You could be right. I'm not sure. But from that one that you're talking about, if you are talking about the same one as me, they said that was going to be his last match, Cena's last match, and it was going to be on Saturday night main event, and that's where R-Truth taking the title. That's possible in your head, right?
To a point.
Like even if it was a short run.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Yeah. I would love that. I mean, he deserves it for one. And even if it's this, short run, at least he got it. Kofi got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. But then he got annihilated by Brock Lesnar.
I think he still holds that record, too. Did you figure that out for Cena?
Yeah, I did. This is on the Takedown on Sports Illustrated. Upcoming appearances for John Cena announced or advertised. May 24th. Saturday night's main event in Tampa, and his last showing is Crown Jewel in Perth.
Crown Jewel.
And that's in October. Yeah, and that's in October.
So that's how we're. Wait a
minute.
But
there's also
the TD Garden.
There's also 15 unknown appearances left for John Cena's retirement tour. So this is just May 24th, May 30th, June 7th, June 9th, June 13th. June 20th, and then August 31st and October 11th.
And
there's still a ton of dates left.
And he's going until the end of this year, right?
Yes.
Huh. Because I know they're ending it with TD Garden. They're doing a special tribute stuff to him in TD Garden.
Well, they might be, but this says
for his last. For those dates that you were talking about that have no actual times or dates.
No, they do. They do.
One of them does. Is it in the Garden? Is that confirmed?
No, none of them are in the Garden.
Not Madison Square Garden. TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts.
No, none of those are confirmed yet because it says right here if you subtract those 8 dates in his heavily rumored final match in Boston this December, that just leaves 15 unknown appearances left for John Cena's retirement tour. These are the ones that are just announced. So, like, May 24th is Saturday night's main event in Tampa. May 30th is SmackDown in Knoxville. June 7th is Money in the Bank. June 9th is a Raw. June 13th and June 20th are SmackDown. And then it doesn't have anything until August 31st, which is a Clash in Paris, which I think that's a new PLE. And then October 11th is Crown Jewel in Perth. So we're missing some dates there yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I heard it. I swear I saw something that it was confirmed that May 24th at Saturday night's main event, it's him and R-Truth for the title.
And why I just don't understand why are we doing this? This is another thing, back to the whole, the last topic we were talking about. What are we doing here? Because if the the way I started it off to begin with, it when I asked you, would you be okay with Archer taking that belt, and you answered yeah for a short run. This this just isn't okay. Like you're unless we're doing a part two. If we're gonna do a part two with this, I understand. But
Right.
these little short stories, that doesn't fit the bill. He said he said out of kayfabe, he's gonna give back to the people of what they want, matches of what they want, and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what he said in his promo. That's
Right.
obviously. But as far as like factual goes, that's the marquee right now. Is we are in charge of this whole road of John Cena right now. He only wants one thing from it, and that's the belt. Okay,
Yep.
so our truth part two, TD Garden in December.
I
Who
don't know if
wins that?
I don't know if they finished that.
Who wins
I
that?
really do. Well, I mean, it would almost have to be our truth if that's what they're doing. It would have to be our truth, or they announce a new championship
See, and
because
that
John Cena has said that he's going to be the last WWE champion.
yeah,
He's taking that belt.
so
So
what does he even really mean by that? Because obviously the WWE is just not gonna fucking say, yeah, John, fuck our whole multi-billion-dollar organization and the belt that stands behind it. Like, we're I understand what he wants. It is very clear, it's crystal clear, that he wants that piece of history.
yeah,
But with the World Heavyweight Championship lingering around, is that the main championship that we're just gonna go with, or like you said, bring something new in? I don't want another fucking Universal Championship.
no, no, no. I don't think they bring back the Universal Champion. Um, I I wonder if they go back to like undisputed.
Dude, that's fucking brilliant. You're talking about the JBL belt.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
I wonder if they go that route and do like an undisputed WWE champion.
yeah,
Like because this right now we are just the WWE championship. We are back to what it was when John Cena had it and when they brought back the World Heavyweight Championship. We're back to that like early 2000s, mid 2000s like champions. You know, you have the World Heavyweight Champion, and then you have the WWE Champion, and then you had the Undisputed Champion when the Intercontinental and the WWE Championship went together. You know, in the early 2000s, late 90s, when Triple H did it and all that other stuff. And then they brought in the big, wasn't it the Big Eagle? That was the undisputed championship, wasn't it?
yeah, because it was the Winged Eagle, then the big,
Yeah, the wing. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
that's
JBL belt, and then the spinner.
right. So I wonder if they do something like that because we'll go back a little bit when Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens had their thing with the Wing Eagle belt.
Right.
I
Yep.
wonder if Cody Rhodes is the undisputed champion. You know, I wonder if they bring it in and they bring back a form of the Winged Eagle or the Big Eagle belt and they call it the Undisputed Championship.
I would hope so. Because otherwise, that was one of those things that I remember like talking to you about before we even started this thing. That Winged Eagle belt and how much, that meant to nostalgia and to wrestling fans alike, and how much we wanted that to come back. Dude, I wouldn't mind that at all. But like I said, that idea that you had originally talked about was fucking brilliant, because Cena going out with that particular belt. Uh, I'm talking about the one he has now. That would be fine. They reset with that JBL belt. That still leaves that mark of Cena being there,
Yeah,
because he was the last champion to carry that belt before it became the
right.
spinner belt. So it would only make sense to bring that belt back, even with the Winged Eagle belt too. Like, that would be full circle for the story itself. But we know WWE doesn't really give a fuck about full circle the story, because otherwise we would have had the end of the bloodline. We would have had the end of the Judgment Day. Um,
A long time ago,
yeah,
which they're kind of dragging that out too.
I know.
Which
I noticed
we
that.
might get into that here soon.
That's actually next
But
on the list. But
well,
well,
I just wanted to bring up, like, since we're talking about John Cena and all that jazz that he's got going on, and they're doing the short stories with him. I feel like it's a good time just to get into the, actually right here on WWE Network, they don't have. I just looked at this because I'm looking at like the results. They don't have the. They have it as the undisputed WWE Championship, so it's already the undisputed WWE Championship. So
no,
I
it's
don't
been
understand
that.
that.
No, it's been that. When Triple H brought that belt to Roman Reigns, he named it that.
Oh,
That
see,
yeah,
I thought they were just at the WWE Championship again.
no.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, um, back to what I was going to say. With these short stories and stuff, I feel like they could have did a little bit of a longer storyline with John Cena and Randy Orton, given the 15 years of history they have with each other. And I think they did Randy Orton dirty. This match sucked.
Yeah, I agree with
It,
you.
it was bad. I mean, I know we're jumping to the end already, but I just feel like
Well,
we
I only
have to
have
jump
one more
to the
match to
next
talk
one.
about in between the two, so we can just go this way, because
Okay.
that really did irk me as well too. Is because okay, I get it, Cena. That promo on SmackDown where he said, "Yeah, your childhood is ruined." I kind of figured it was gonna be like bland. Um, the big thing for me
I
though
would
is
say the beginning of the match was pretty good,
yeah, the way
but
it
then
started off, it was classic heel stuff. Cena goes to the
yep,
handshake, pokes Orton in the eye, and then it's off to the races from there. Um, the match, like my favorite spot, right, was where was it? The fucking the when Orton stole Cena's moves through
yeah,
the AA through the table. I thought that was brilliant as well. Um, that and when Randy Orton laid out all the officials with an
yeah,
RKO, that was awesome. The finish fucking sucked. A low
yeah.
blow and then a championship belt shot. I mean, when's the last time like 1, 2, 3 happened for a belt shot in the WWE? Are we bringing that shit
It's been
back?
a while.
Yeah, like so all of these things that we've seen before, but it's been so long since we've seen it, are starting to come back. Um, but in this particular match, especially with the criticism John Cena is getting on his in-ring skills as a professional wrestler, not an entertainer because he's off the charts at that, but as a professional wrestler, Zach, you said it best: the 5 moves of death.
Yep.
You would think that they would be a lot more creative going into this match, or I mean, into these last matches that Cena's having, to bring out the creativity. Because, as I stated before, he says he wants to give, the fans what they want. We want exciting matches from John Cena. That's what we want. We got a
We
little
haven't had
taste of
a
that.
we haven't had an exciting match from John Cena in, I feel like, 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know it hasn't been that long, but I feel like it has
It's
been.
close enough.
But I think what Triple H is thinking, like, they're not going to go too far out of John Cena's repertoire, mostly because of, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
People hype for John Cena all the time, and it doesn't matter what he did. He does the same shit every match. It's they do random moves, and then he does his fucking 5 moves of death, and that's usually it. And he does that multiple times a match, and people just eat it up, and that's just how John Cena's career has went. Um, I just think they're going to stay the course with him. I mean, they did mix it up a little bit. John Cena, I believe, when I remember watching that match, he did hit an RKO, or he tried to,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, he did. He tried to.
Yeah, he hit. I believe he actually did hit one. So that was different because you never really see John steal moves.
No, not at
Um,
all. And by the way, that was
and
fucking
that's the
horrible.
heel thing.
Yeah, Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That's a big heel thing. I think
Yeah.
that the whole thing looked awkward and quirky. Randy Orton, is close to the same age as Cena, if not the same age. You could tell Randy Orton is better because he's been in the ring more. John Cena's been off doing movies and shows and all that kind of shit. Randy Orton really carried that for the most part, I would say,
Oh, definitely.
and that's
I would
actually
say my
surprising.
I would say my favorite spot of that was when John Cena went for the attitude adjustment and Randy Orton countered with an RKO.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
That was a great spot. I think Randy Orton did a great job selling that. They both did. Um, but yeah, I mean, you could definitely tell Randy carried that match. Obviously, Randy's in great shape. Excuse me. Um, I'd say is probably some of the greatest shape he's been in years. Um, I always like how he drinks a bottle of Prime and fucking. It's disgusting. I think he's only had a bottle of Prime one time and he liked it.
Prime is fucking disgusting.
It is.
Um,
I don't care for Prime.
so R-Truth kit comes out before that finish and tries to help Cena. Obviously, he gets hit with an RKO from Randy Orton, and then that's when the low blow to Orton and Cena hits him with the belt. So I mean, so that match had its ups and downs, just like this whole PLE did. The next one I really want to get to is like the Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship belt, and then we can move on to Raw. I thought those two girls, they just fucking tore the house down in that.
Oh,
Yeah,
they did. They did.
that match was so good. The only criticism I have, and because I thought it looked goofy as a motherfucker, was the buckle pad spot. I thought it was dumb,
Yeah.
like especially because Jessica Carr, who she is a really good official. Um, she just didn't sell it the way she should have. That was definitely a botch.
I
That's the only bad thing I have to say about that match.
I think Lyra had a little bit of a botch or maybe like a brain malfunction there one time where she laid out Becky Lynch. She did a move on her, and then she was going to drag her to the corner to, I would assume, do a top rope thing, and then she turned around and pinned her. I think that was a missed spot on Lyra's part. But other than that, and what you said, I can't think of anything else. I mean, do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. And in the moment I thought there, I was like, "Damn, dude, that really sucked." But then
Mm-hmm.
it clicked on me too. It's like, okay, well, she's also in the ring with a pro. And, she's on that big stage now. She's got the belt, and we're gonna see a lot more of those things. I think she works it out. But yeah, that was actually a little concerning to me because it's like you should be a little bit more oiled up than as far as like the brain goes.
Right.
Um,
Right. I think how that spot was supposed to go, she was probably supposed to pin her
yeah,
and then try to do a top rope move, you
yeah,
know. But I mean, shit like that happens. A lot of
all the
times you
time.
don't
Yeah,
catch it. Like, I mean, if you're not like watching the shows all the time and you just, watch it here and there and you're not paying attention to the matches or you're not paying attention to how the wrestlers are, you're not going to catch something like that. But that one was kind of a big thing. I mean, I don't know if anybody could have missed it. But regardless, they did tear the house down.
yeah, I
It
thought
was a
so.
great match.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
definitely a great match. And having Lyra win was the right choice, obviously.
Right.
Push Lyra as much as they can right now with her being the champion. Um, Becky, speculation that she joins Seth Rollins' faction. I don't know how that'll go, or if that's even a thing, but I wouldn't mind it.
Right. Oh yeah, me either. I mean, other than the fact that it just resembles the bloodline so much, and I just don't like that.
Well,
I
that's the
really like
whole.
that.
That's part of the storyline.
Right, right. But again, like the same thing. Why are we having two different bloodlines? And two different shows. We have Solo, who is actually, you know, the Bloodline, and then we have the makeshift fake one over on Raw, and that only makes sense because they have one guy from, you know, the play. I really like what they're doing with Braun Breaker in this because Braun Breaker, he doesn't really need help on the mic. You know, he doesn't need to have a mouthpiece because he can go. But this gives him enough, not exposure, but experience to be in these situations with these kind of stars. Um,
Yeah.
he's had multiple viral moments and skyrocketing. You know, former Intercontinental Champion 2 times, 3 times, I believe. And I really like that for him. Paul Heyman is just one of those, mentor bridge guys to carry these guys over into the next, into the next level. I really like that. And Seth is obviously the guy to lead it all here. Other than the bloodline thing, I could really get behind it. But the one thing that I wanted to get into on Raw was the Gunther situation, because it looks like they are actually doing what they should have done with Gunther at WrestleMania 41 and have him look unstoppable, like the old Walter Gunther. His match with McAfee wasn't bad. I enjoyed that.
I actually enjoyed that match.
Yeah, that was really good.
McAfee did hold his own. I thought McAfee did a great job.
I think so too. I really do. And I know that this is going to be a one-off for those two. Obviously, because what we're getting into now is Gunther has challenged the winner of Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I really think that they're going to pull a swerve on us, and Gunther's going to be the next champion. Again. And he rightfully deserves it, because they should never took that fucking belt off of him in the first place, man.
No, they shouldn't have. I don't see them putting on Logan, though. I can't imagine, because
No.
they still got this whole Jey Uso Gunther storyline going on.
Yeah.
Um, so I believe, although I do think that Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, I actually am looking forward to that match because those two are both. I mean, I give Logan Paul all the credit in the world. You know, I enjoy his wrestling. I don't enjoy his antics outside of WWE, but he is a great heel. He works the part great, and his in-ring ability is really good. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
obviously he's obviously got work to improve, which most wrestlers do, but you don't really see somebody come onto the scene like Logan Paul did and just do the things he does.
Right.
You know, he's a phenomenal wrestler and athlete in his own right. And Jey Uso has really came along as a singles competitor, and his work in the ring has greatly improved. So I think Jey Uso and Logan Paul is actually going to tear the house down. I think it's going to be an awesome match, and probably the match of the night. Is this going down at Saturday Night Main Event?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's going to be the match of the night.
and honestly, I agree with you. So Logan's in ring skills are good. The promos need some work, but that'll come. You know, he's a talker himself. You know, he does his YouTube thing, and he's done it for decades. So he's got that. He just needs to step into the WWE world a little bit more, on that side of things, and actually, be creative, because Logan is really creative,
Yeah.
really creative. I've watched his vlogs and everything else. He's got the skills there. His in ring abilities are just. The last time I've seen something like this was Bad Bunny, and I think that he outperforms Bad Bunny by a million
Oh
on
yeah.
this. He's putting in the work every single day down there in Puerto Rico. I just don't. I don't think with his schedule, because he has him and his brother and his family that have their own TV show. Logan's a father now, married, all kinds of stuff. He has, all that kind of the YouTube stuff, and obviously he owns Prime and Lunch League with Mr. Beast and stuff. So he's got that part-time schedule. So I don't see why they would put that belt on him. Considering, like, look at what happened when they was the United States belt. Yeah, it was good. It was a good story, but as far as like your main championship, you don't want that kind of
No.
No, I mean, because yes, he's a heel, and that could probably work into the story. But we've seen so much of that so far. We don't want that no more. We're seeing it with Cena. Before Cena, we've seen it with Roman Reigns, and before Roman Reigns, it was Brock Lesnar. The list goes
Yeah.
on and on and on. We need a break from all that. We need an avid champion that sticks around time and time and time again, heel or face. Gunther was an excellent champion because of that. Even though he was a heel, he was still a fighting champion. And he was there.
Yep.
If he
We
wasn't there in the
also,
ring, he was there cutting promos.
yep. We also need, you know, one that'll wrestle. I mean, Gunther. Yes, he was a great champion. He would regularly wrestle. He would regularly be in the ring, and that was my whole gripe with Cody Rhodes when he got the championship.
Yeah,
Yes,
mine
he was
too.
there. He was there cutting promos, but he wasn't always there.
Right,
And I could count on probably one hand, maybe two, on how many matches he actually had on SmackDown.
right.
Like, I remember back in the day, your champion was on TV wrestling either in a tag team or was always in a storyline or, always had matches.
Yeah,
Um,
every week.
so every week. And that's the way it should be. You're a champion. You should be, putting in the work
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you put in the work to get the championship. You should put in the work to keep it. Um, just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I hope they go back to doing that again once this whole John Cena thing is over. Um, and Cody Rhodes stops being kind of like a part timer.
Right. Well, the news is like the rumor is that he's coming, and this is by Wrestle Talk. Um, the Cody Rhodes is coming back as a heel.
But I could see that.
And I've seen Cody's heel work. Not in the WWE. I've seen his heel work in New Japan, and I'm really, really, really excited for this. Mainly because like of the hype he's got now. Okay, so everybody loves him, just like they love Jey Uso. Um, he's got kids' attention. Everybody's attention in that frame, age rate. And when he comes and breaks the heart out of every little fucking child in there, that place is gonna go nuts.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's Vince McMahon said it best: just make me money, and that's what Cody Rhodes is about to do for the WWE is make money with that heel turn. How do you see that going?
I think it'll work out good actually. Because we kind of saw a glimpse of it when before him and John Cena had their thing. You kind of caught a glimpse of Cody Rhodes kind of dancing around a little bit, with being a heel and stuff, with being part of that storyline. So I think it'll go over good. I can't imagine that it wouldn't.
Right, right. We've seen the glimpse. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, John Cena and Cody Rhodes, The Rock and Cody Rhodes. The list goes on. I really can't wait for that. I really can't wait for that
No.
at all. Braun then goes and attacks Jey Uso backstage and leaves him lying. There was no words exchanged or anything else like that. Just your average backstage beat up.
Drive by.
Yeah. So I really expect more from Seth Rollins, but I really like this angle now because now they're adding Gunther into it. It's not
Yeah.
just Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. It's Seth Rollins, Gunther, and Jey Uso. Possibly even Logan Paul thrown in there as well. I really like that. But after that was AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And dude, these guys, I could watch these guys wrestle all the fucking time. Finn
I
Balor and
watch
AJ.
AJ Styles wrestle all the time. That was one of the reasons why I watched TNA back in the day.
Absolutely.
Because AJ Styles was phenomenal then,
Yeah.
and he was young. That and I really liked Rhino, and he was on TNA.
Yeah, Rhino, dude, Rhino's the man. Yeah, so
Thor.
uh, this match was phenomenal. There's beef
Pun
between
intended.
yeah, there's beef between Penta and Finn Balor from Backlash when Penta lost his match against Dominic Mysterio. Thanks to the Judgment Day, they got thrown out of ringside or whatever, but Penta still lost to Dirty Dom. Penta comes and interferes to help AJ Styles. And then Styles turns around and gets the win on that. And it was clean. It was via pinfall. I really like where they're going with this Judgment Day thing. I really think that Penta goes either Penta goes to SmackDown to team with his brother, or his brother comes to Raw to team with Penta to take on the Judgment Day, and that just goes and it tickles my fancy because that's exactly what I want for that tag team division. That tag team division needs more guys like that. So Judgment Day versus the Lucha Brothers, put that on your calendars at some point. That should be very interesting. Yeah, dude, I really like that.
I do also like how they're slowly disbanding the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing with Balor and Dominic is going to come to head at some point. I'd assume it's whenever Liv comes back from making her movie or whatever she's doing. I know she has some time off for that, which is kind of weird that they gave her that time off and didn't drop the tag titles.
Yeah, I know.
Because her and Raquel are still tag champs, and Liv is off for an X amount of time. But regardless, I do like how they're going with this, and if they do like a Judgment Day versus the Lucha Brothers, I have a feeling it might be like Finn Balor and Dom, or Finn Balor and JD McDonough or something like that. And Finn turns his back on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
On either one of them. That's how I see that going down. And then we will see the end of the Judgment Day finally, which has been needing to come for a while now. And I'd also like to see Dirty Dom on his own.
Yeah, me too. I think he'd do really good.
Mm-hmm. Especially now that he's the Intercontinental Champion, he needs to be on his own. He needs to get out of the faction.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna go over the Becky Lynch promo because it was just a typical heel Becky Lynch promo.
Yep.
But the main event of this card though was Julia versus Roxanne. I mean Julia and Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Did you catch that at all? Watch any clips of that?
I saw some clips and I saw the end of it. Like Rhea, I think they're kind of making Rhea a face a little bit.
Well, no, she's been a face. She's been a face. She's not a heel no more. She hasn't been a heel. No, she hasn't been a heel since the Dominic turn at SummerSlam in Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're doing kind of like a face, because Io's face too.
Yeah.
Since, so a face versus face kind of thing. Sometimes that doesn't work out, but I feel like Rhea and Io do so well together that it's going to work out. And this match, I saw little clips, and it was actually really good. And I did like the ending where you saw Rhea, do the Io thing. So, whenever this match happens, which I assume will probably happen at Saturday Night Main Event, that's going to be probably one of the match of the nights too. I say Jey Uso and Paul Logan. I would say the next best match will be Io and Ripley.
Oh yeah, Io Sky is just. Oh, I mean, enough. I don't think enough is really said about the other two on the other side. Julia and Roxanne Perez, like these guys.
No, they do great too.
Especially Roxanne. I mean, her work done in NXT is pretty much unmatched right now. Like, she's the prodigy. The amount of time that she's held that NXT Women's title, it's art. It's really good art. And now Julia is stepping into that role as well, with her and Stephanie Vaquer down there in NXT. I really, really like this. I think that what they're doing is they're bringing both of these girls up, Julia and Roxanne Perez, and they're also giving them the exposure that they need. These two are you can't just put these two against somebody like Zelina Vega, or who else? Maxine Dupree, or you have to put these guys against other big time star calibers, whether it be the main events or the mid card like Lyra. You have to put them in there, or otherwise this thing it goes off the rails. Unless you're doing something like Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill or Nia Jax were one of these giant human beings, then you then go ahead and book a squash match like this. But for Roxanne Perez and Julia, you don't really necessarily need to do these type of squash matches. You just need to get them into the fold and let your
Right.
people know, hey, here's what's next up, and these guys got some fire.
Yep. And putting him against, the former women's heavyweight champion and the current women's heavyweight champion in a match is just phenomenal
Yeah.
booking. To get these girls more exposure and get them over a little bit. Um, I mean, obviously, if they would have won, that would have been like huge and mind blowing. I don't think anybody really seen them winning, but if for some reason they booked them to win, man, that would have been. I think people would have went nuts.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I really think so too. Yeah, I really. So, Io Sky, what's next for her after this? Because as it looks now, it looks like they're setting up a turn. Rhea's there with her now, but for how long? I talked about how she was a face. She's been a face since Cleveland SummerSlam of last year, and we're coming up on almost a year on that this summer. I think that now it's time for them to turn her heel, just like we were talking about before. Repackage it, not necessarily a full repackage of her, but just a little uplift and send her on her way. I think it's going to be Io and Rhea with that world championship.
Definitely. I mean, they could go either way with the heel turn because Io's heel work is pretty good too. When she was
Yeah,
Damage Control, I mean, she still is with Damage Control, and they're kind of like they've kind of went face that whole group a little bit. But um, Io could definitely turn heel as well and turn on Rhea if they kind of do another like tag team or a storyline where they're friendly with each other, and then Io just kind of stabs her in the back,
yeah.
which would be fine with me too. Uh, I think either way, it's going to be a home run, and I'm excited to see the match because I mean that WrestleMania with Io, Rhea, and why is her
Belair.
name eluding Belair. That was a great match as well. So I can't imagine that this would be any less than that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that I really like Io as champion here. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's doing phenomenal work in the story that they're carrying on between her and Rhea Ripley of that undefeated thing. That's what makes me think that this is going to straight to in character Rhea Ripley's head of why am I teaming with this girl when she has what I want and I've never been able to beat her. Not in NXT, not on the biggest stage of them all, and definitely not on Raw. We got it, and then the ball starts rolling. And now for the other two, I expect Roxanne to wiggle her way into that type of picture soon. Julia, she's going to get pushed to the fucking moon. She's got a lot of skills, from Japan, and I they got a diamond in the rough with her and Stephanie Vaquer. Alberto Del Rio was in the news recently. You see, he might be making a return.
Yeah, I saw that he possibly signed a contract. I don't know if that was confirmed or not, but if that's the thing, do we see the what was the faction
Ricardo?
with? Well, I mean, we could see Ricardo come back, but I'm saying, could we see the faction that was him, Rusev, Cesaro, and Sheamus? What was that called again?
Oh man, I can't even remember.
Was
What?
it like United Nations or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Or
something like that.
could we see that since Rusev's back?
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe.
I don't think they would put them in a joke role like that, this soon. Especially because of Rusev's character. I mean, he is even more brutal than he was when he first showed up in WWE.
Yeah,
And I'm a fan of it. I've always been a fan of Rusev. I felt like his first run in WWE, he should have got pushed more. And hopefully he gets that push. I mean, we saw an Alberto Del Rio run. Um, he had the title twice, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was once the
Yeah,
WWE and the other was the World Heavyweight.
yeah. We saw Alberto Del Rio runs, and they were good too. So I'm excited to see if that's true and to see where they go with both him and Rusev. I mean, obviously now it's kind of hard to put them into a title picture because all the titles are kind of in their own storyline right now.
Right.
Um, but down the line, I want to see Rusev in the picture of either championship. I don't care if it's mid card or main card. Um, he did what I think what he did well. He held the Intercontinental and the United States Championship at one point in time.
Yeah.
Um, and he did those titles great justice. So I'd be okay with seeing any title on him or Alberto because I didn't mind Alberto in his run.
No, no, dude, I loved Alberto's heel work. The only thing is this pretty much just if it is the way it is, and Alberto is joining the WWE with that AAA merger, this really shuts the door on Paige coming back. I'm sure you know about that beef there between those two. Those two were in a relationship that turned sour pretty quick. A lot of stuff that we will not go into at all.
Yeah,
Um, but I think that closes the door on that, and I mean, so be it, I guess, because if we get an excellent Alberto Del Rio run, which the work he's doing in AAA is really good, I'd rather take that than whatever Paige is doing as Saraya, which is her
right.
real name over in AEW. No offense to her, but because what she went through was really fucked up and brutal. Like I said, we can't get into that. That's too much.
No,
But I'd like to know what do you think that shuts the door on it, or you think never say never?
I'd say never because she wants to come back.
Oh yeah, that's what
Um,
I'm saying. Like with him coming back,
I wonder. I know I understand that, but maybe Triple H and WWE kind of book them differently if that's the case.
one's on
You know,
SmackDown, one's on Raw.
yeah, you know, either or they just if they're both on Raw, schedule them differently.
I just don't
Like
know what they
they'll
would do with Paige. They didn't do anything, with her at the end. I know she had her issues, but then all of a sudden she goes to AEW, gets cleared, has matches, and all of a sudden she wants to come back. I don't. Well, what are you gonna do? Because we have enough bridge players here. We have Becky Lynch, we have Charlotte, we have Nia, we have Naomi, we have Natalia. We don't. We don't. The only one that we should probably try and get back, and I hate to say this because I do not like her, Sasha Banks, and that's only because she's part of the Four Horsewomen.
yeah.
Um, that's the only one I could actually see coming back, and I'd actually be sort of okay with it. Um,
I wonder if they do a like kind of what they did with Cody Rhodes. I mean, Paige is very popular.
yeah.
Um, she comes back and wins the championship. She has one more championship run. Because did she hold a women's? I know she held the Divas title. Did she hold the women's
Uh,
championship, or was
no.
that all just Charlotte mostly?
Yeah, yeah. Because Paige wasn't wrestling when they made that switch.
Okay, I wasn't sure if she was or not. So she hasn't held the WWE Women's Championship.
Well, no, they're
You
counting
know.
the Divas Championship as the WWE Women's Championship. They are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well then, either regardless, she hasn't had one in a long time, and
Right.
I could see them giving it to her for a little bit anyway, just to hype her up and get that big moment when she returns,
I would like
if
to see
she
her brother.
returns.
I mean, I want to see Paige's brother get in the ring. And live out his dream. I've seen that movie Fighting with My Family many times, and to see that guy get his. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say he wasn't good enough, but that seems like a really good underdog story that a lot of people would buy into. And considering that his sister just happens to be Paige, I would like that. That'd be a nice little way to put a bow on that.
Yeah,
For that entire family. That entire family has been in the professional wrestling scene over in the United Kingdom for fucking years, dude. So that'd be nice. But I have no ill will towards Paige. I actually like, the stuff that she produced with Britt Baker and the rest of them. My favorite wrestler over there right now, two of them. I'll give you one man and one woman. Woman is Timeless Tony Storm. I love the work that she's doing over there. Tony Storm is phenomenal. And then the other one,
Yeah, she's
obviously, MJF. Maxwell
yeah,
Jacob Friedman he's gold. Absolutely gold. There's nothing that's bad about him. He could play both roles. He could play the in-betweener. Maxwell is, I would say, up there for sure. Uh, but yeah, Paige coming back should be something spectacular. It depends on who you are, honestly. Like I
right.
said, Zach just gave you a good load of reasons why you should be excited about Paige to come back, and then the other side is the Alberto Del Rio thing. And I think that's the only thing that would be stopping her from making
Yeah,
that return would be that. There's nothing else in the way unless they throw some medical bullshit at her, which then it would be like, okay, well, why is all Daniel Bryan and Paige allowed to go and wrestle, over there, and not just for AEW but other organizations as well. And then all of a sudden, like these doctors just don't clear her, or are they
yeah,
clearing her, but they just don't want her out there as a liability,
right,
you
right.
know. But yeah,
Yeah, I
dude,
get
that's
that.
all I got on the WWE, man. You got anything else?
Um, no, I just one real quick thing. I saw like some talks. Matt Cardona, he's kind of talked about maybe coming back, but he doesn't want to be Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is dead, which I agree. Um, I think if he came back to WWE, just I think that would be the biggest fucking pop ever. To be honest, I was a Zack Ryder fan. I really liked him, and if he came back as Matt Cardona, I feel like it would just blow the roof off that place.
I think so too, and I think that he really should come back as always ready, Matt Cardona. Um,
Hmm.
and he should do once he does come back, he should do something straight with either Chelsea Green, his wife, or he should go with Cody Rhodes and do something there because there's a lot of a story that could be told over there because now they're adding New Japan's legacy into WWE. The WWE universe. They're adding TNA into the WWE universe. They're adding AAA and Lucha Underground into the WWE universe now. So with all of those timelines and branches that are being added into our WWE universe now, that opens the door for multiple storylines from New
Yeah,
Japan, from Lucha Underground, and stuff like that. The only thing that they ain't gonna touch on is they have before is AEW, but that I really would be really excited to see Matt Cardona come back there. Bro. I loved his internet series.
hmm
He internet champion. I still watch
yeah,
him and Kurt Hawkins. Um, major figure podcast. That's up and running, and that's a fantastic little gig that they got going on. They've been doing that for years, collecting figures
yeah,
and traveling
long
the
time.
world and doing all that kind of stuff. And with the WWE being the way it is now, I'm certain that they can go and continue to do all that because that was a lot of the issues of why all these guys left is, hey, you're not letting us add extra income into our pockets. You're only paying us this much.
Right.
We're not on TV this much. We're going to leave to people who will give us these rights. And it turns out like Tony Khan was right about that. You can let these guys go out and do their own independent thing. Just remember, we do have a contract with you, and you got to obey by that. And they
Right.
have. So far, I haven't heard anything of somebody going off stray and not coming back or dates or anything else like that. One thing that I really want to talk about before we leave though is John Moxley because though he's the reigning champion, at least I believe he is over there in AEW. I really think that he's not that happy there. It seems like he's bouncing
I mean,
from AEW.
I don't pay attention to AEW, so you could be right. And that's another name. If he came back, would probably just get the biggest pop.
Oh, I think that
There's
would
so many
blow.
names that could come back, and it's just there. It would just blow the roof off to the stratosphere.
Oh yeah, John Moxley is number one on that list. Imagine Seth Rollins, Punk, and all those guys are in the ring, and Punk says, "Okay, well you took my guy, my best friend, so let me take yours." And then Mox's music hits. You hear Wild Thing, and he comes roaring out through those stands. Oh my lord, that would be top 10, maybe number one of all time pops, because everybody wants Dean Ambrose to come back. I don't see him coming back as Dean Ambrose. I think that he should, just like Matt Cardona, he should stick to John Moxley. That's what he was before WWE. That's what he is now. Let's just go ahead with that.
Yep.
Enough with the name changes, because now, like I stated, bro, we have so many branches and timelines into the WWE now. We don't need to go out and create different names for these guys anymore.
No.
We can let them go with their name. People will know who they are because they've seen them on the internet or they've seen them on their TVs elsewhere. And they're still going to follow them. But when you take a familiar face and throw a different name on them, it throws people, it's mainly children too, out of fucking whack. They don't know who these people are. But yeah, dude, that's all. I got one thing not related to the WWE. I want to talk to the people real quick. My schedule is, screwy. So we're gonna go down to one day a week. Zach and I had talked about that. We will keep you updated though. We will still be doing clips. I have many clips in the bank right now that can be uploaded for the days that we don't record or the days that we can't record. Just stay in tune and stick with us. We're not done here. We're not done by a long shot. We're going to keep going. I'm having a blast with this. Zach is my best friend, and he's having a blast with this. We love sitting here, making fun of each other, debating with each other, and masturbating each other, and all kinds of baiting with each other. But yeah, I just wanted to get
you got that red thong on, right?
Yeah, I did. The velvet ones, just for you.
Okay, good.
The ones you got me for Valentine's Day. But yeah, dude, that's all I got on all of that, dude. Anything else?
No, and with that and your red thongs, from the sidelines to your ears, it's the BenchWarmers Pod. Oh, I am way off.
Oh, yeah, you see what those red panties do to you? Damn, brother.
I got me all hot and bothered.
Yeah, I see the sweat coming off of you, dude.
Whew, I'm gonna have to go and rub one out later.
Hey, remember, it's for the family.
Oh, it is family. Pose in front of a car.
Yeah.
So the starters may get the glory, but the benchwarmers bring the fun. Tune in for the next episode of the BenchWarmers Podcast, and thanks for listening.
All right, guys. Peace.